Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of this gorgeous nation. My name is Michelle Obama, and I stand before you today to encourage the youth and change the future. Many of you may know me as a First Lady, and I'm sure many of you know my stance on a healthier America. But not many of you know my passion to return this nation to its full and glorious form. Since my man Barack got elected into office in 2008, my efforts to appease this nation have not stopped since. Fortunately, I am a lawyer, so compiling evidence and building a strong defenseless case is right up my alley. I've excelled in the departments I have tried to manage and believe I could do the same for this beautiful country. Thousands have supported my husband. Now it is my turn to prove myself. When Barack decided to run, I dropped nearly everything to support him. Although we were hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt due to law school, still stuck by his side. I increased my involvement in his campaign by 80% in hope to prove to the country that we are what this nation needs. Now, I'd first like to begin by saying and putting aside all slander, at least until the end. But for the past 10 years or so, we have been in the spotlight. We urged our loving daughters and close supporters to ignore the hate, to ignore what other political parties had to say, to ignore all the big... forget that. To never question our decisions based off what other parties have to say, and most of all to stay true to our country and never give up. I never thought my husband would make it to the top, nor did I think I would either. But I will not stop here. But if I am not elected to represent this amazing nation, it will only delay my actions to better America by little or none. Nothing will stop me from reaching my end game. Nothing ever has. Although Barack had to leave office a few years ago, our name has fortunately stayed at the top of the political agenda for quite some time now, but that will not go away anytime soon. I will not go away until I fix this nation and return it to its full and glorious form. We tell our daughters to keep pushing, regardless of how hard it may be to be in the spotlight even after years after his presidency has ended. But now, hopefully, we have to start back all over again. And we tell women to always constantly be pushing. As a strong Democrat, I would say I'm a strong influence on women's rights today. But my actions would go even further if I had the opportunity of becoming elected. Sorry. Like I have said before, this is not something we can just shove under the rug and push aside. We live in a constant fear of turning the television on and hearing slander of women from our current president. We fear our children do not idolize him. But what if we could pray that our children idolize their president? How great would that be? But as a woman, we have to constantly be aware of our surroundings and everything in between. We have to be aware of the news because one case could set back our nation so much that women are afraid to come forward again. We have to be aware of what our children are watching or reading or being taught in school in fear they might accept some of the things this president has to say. We fear turning the television on. Where is that? We, as women, have to live in constant fear in general. And that hurts. It hurts. It hurts seeing women live in fear in the most accepting country on earth. It hurts we have fallen back into old patterns we read about in history, stories we hear as children. We think, thank God that would never happen in this day and age. And now look at us. setting back crucial actions to better the safety of women. It is cruel, uncanny, a disgrace to what our country should be. Do not fall into the vicious cycle that men have been repeating for hundreds of thousands of years. Take a stand. We teach our children the value of being a team player. Yet, the team that has raised America has been a team of all men. That hasn't gone so well so far. Let's change that. So, presidency. It's who will have the power to shape our children for the next 4 to 8 years. I've seen my husband devote his life to lead this country. I've seen his lifelong devotion to this country and their children. It's beautiful. But kids are the easiest to influence, and at the moment, they are not being educated with the best possible information. If I am elected, I will devote my time to not only advocating for women's rights, but also advocating for children's rights and their dreams. Whether a child speaks barely any English, or whether they are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, I will do everything in my power to raise the children of the United States to be powerful. They will speak up against any wrongdoing, any slander, and they will change the future for the better, and I will not stop until I see it happening. Influencing the youth to provoke them to vote, which will Influencing the youth will provoke them to vote, which will open democracy's eyes to see what is right and what is wrong. But remember, democracy continues with or without you. But I want to make a difference in your lives. Along with being an advocate for women's rights, I also advocate for those who are not given the time of day by current elected officials. Today, I give the time of day to the LGBTQ community. Many of you know my husband has not stopped efforts when it comes to equalizing this community. And many of you know neither have I. But many of you do not know my efforts in this rising issue, and they will have not stopped since Barack has left office. It comes down to fairness and equality, and I will fight for that time and time again. And these are basic values we should be teaching our children, that love is love, plain and simple. I am an advocate for same-sex marriage, and believe everyone has the right to love. Now, living in America has its pros and cons, and we tend to all want to achieve the same thing, and that is the American dream. As citizens, we long for the American dream. To be able to come home to a nice, loving family after a long, hard day at work, and to live a long and peaceful life filled with joy and happiness. Shh. Shut up. Sorry. But some of us may not be fortunate enough to achieve this due to constant backlash from society. But I am here to change that. No one deserves to be threatened. No one deserves to be unloved, uncared for. Everyone deserves to be accepted. After all, are we not the land of the free? This is a land of freedom, of opportunity, a place of refuge for those in need, a place with fairness and equality spread over our land and hopefully influencing other countries to participate in as well. I want to make a difference in your lives. Being president does not show who you are. It only reveals who you are. Wait, what? Never mind. Okay, yeah. Alright, now, let's move on to the next topic. I launched Let's Move to inspire community leaders, educators, parents, and anyone else to try to reduce obesity. Making our nation a healthier one will not only benefit the future, but will help our local economy. Reducing money spent on high produce snacks will improve the overall health as a nation, but also analyzes the effects of imposing state and local sales taxes on less healthier products. Now, I want you all to remember where you came from. Think long and hard about the countless man-hours you have sacrificed to be where you are today, to be in front of us today. Don't forget where you come from, but also don't forget where this nation has come from. Disturbingly, our history has a sick way of repeating itself, but not always in the exact same form, maybe just a little different. We have discussed women's rights as well as the rights of the LGBTQ community, but we have not discussed the enormous issue facing our country today, and that is racism. I don't want to spend too much time discussing the facts and stories that are arising due to this lack of authority towards those who have committed hate crimes. I want to point fingers. I want to target specific people. And let us not forget when these heinous crimes resurrected, and also who is condoning these unspeakable actions. Racism was and is still part of America, but I want to change that. I know you can't persuade those who are not listening, but I can make my argument so powerful no one will have a say against it. I want to fix this nation. I want all women and the LGBTQ community members to feel safe in their country, and most of all, I want to end this disgusting, exhausting trend of chaotic political madness. I want to be the change this country has been longing for. I want to make a difference in your life. If I am not fortunate enough to be your next president, that will not stop me. I have a passion for helping others, and there is much to do rather than sulk. I will continue to advocate for women, for children, for LGBTQ members, for refugees. I will not stop. I need everyone to take a stand and vote for what is right. Vote for the future of your nation. Vote for the future of your children. Vote for equality. Vote for fairness. And vote in a trusted official. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you all soon.